Today we are gonna see some basics about Dart language like function, variables and lists, and how we can import libraries. So on our desktop, first create a folder, our workspace, and Dart basics. Let's move to file, and first let me close this folder, and let me open folder on my desktop. So it's basically empty, it's nothing there. So first we will create a file. Let name it basic dot dart. So before starting, what we are why we are even using Dart language, let me increase the size. Why we are even using Dart is because every program in Flutter is written in Dart. Dart is the basic language for Flutter. Flutter is a framework, and we will code in Dart language for our apps. So let's get started. So it's our workspace. It's I created a file basic.art, and let's try to print something. So for printing, we have a function called print, and function is written in double parentheses, and after completing a sentence we need a colon to finish it. And to print anything, like I wanna print hello, so we need a double quote in which we can put our text, and that's it. So what do you think, will it run or not? Yeah, let's see. Let me save the file. But you already can see that here's a red line. So, or you can, if peak problem alt F8, you can quick fix this problem. But let first run the task. Okay, yeah. So here are our problems. A function body must be provided. Okay, so what it signifies is, leave it, for a second. And what we actually need is the main function. So what even is main function? So as soon as I type main function, it uh, shows a button of read, run and debug. So in that programming language, whatever we do, whatever we write it in main function, or whatever we call it in main function. What calling is, I will explain you later, but main function is main actually. Yeah, what you can think is, it's the entry point of the program. So whenever this compiler will compile anything, it will look for the main function first. Okay, so where in the program file, where is the main function, and whatever will be in the main function, it will execute it. Okay, so main function, and then we have block. So it's the body of main function, and it automatically indented. Now what we can do is call our print function here, and can type hello. So you can see no red lines or any kind of mark. As soon as I hit run, it will show me hello, shows me hello. So that's it for the print. And what we can do is, can print other things too, like hi, this is some gins and colon, and as soon as I hit run, it will show me the text. So that's about the print function. But what we actually need is, like, suppose this is a large program, very large, and we cannot simply write everything into the main function. And what function actually is nothing, it's a block where we define our things, and that block gets executed later on into the main function. Okay, so let's define the function. So let me create a function fun. Okay, so it's function, and I defined the function. That's it. Name of the function, parentheses, and block. So we can write just anything, like you can define variables. What variables is, I will tell you later. So let me print something. This is a function declared here. So in this function we have print statement which prints this sentence. That's it. But what will happen, if I hit run? Yeah, but it didn't show me what print, what we just printed, but it didn't showed me. That is because our program is looking into the main function, and in main function there's no line saying this is a function declared here. So what we can do is call our function. For calling a function, what we do is we type the name of the function, fun, then double here parentheses, and then colon. Now if I hit run, control S first, then hit run, this is a function declared here. Okay, so it was damn easy. What function is, what main block is. So I told you why we need function, because we just cannot write everything into the main function, right? And what you can do is, this is known as comment. What I am doing here is known as comment. So let me function declare function comments is a line of statement that does not executed by the compiler. That's it. If you line multi-line comments, what you can do is put your comment into this line here, whatever you comment want. As soon as you run, yeah, it will not execute this statement. Okay, so I just told you what function and main block is, how to get started with Dart. And one more thing is there. So suppose this is a basic .dart file. You just cannot define functions, right? I just define, but it's very small. It just have one line. There can be 100 lines, 100 plus lines, right? Plus 100 lines, and there can be plus 100 functions. So here it is a function. Now there can be more functions, right? So what you can do is create another file. So you can put a single function into a single file. We are making our own custom library. So what we can do, uh, let me leave it here. Let me create another file, that is library.dart. Okay, so I just opened another file. Let me copy this function. Okay, paste it. But in a single piece of code, you cannot have two functions with the same name, so we need some function 2. Okay, this is our function 2, and in this just type this is a function in another file. Okay, so what we did previously, we just called the function, we just type the name. So can we do that right now? Because before, this function was available in same Dart file. But now our function is in lib.dart and we are calling into the main function of basic.dart. Okay, so let's see. Whatever the name we have is fun2 and then colon. So as you can see that underneath this function there's a red line, you know, it's telling there's an error. Okay, you can go basic.dart function2 is undefined, and what it is showing, try importing the library from that defines function2. We first have to import this file into this basic.dart, then only it will work into our main function. And how you can import it, it's pretty simple. Just click on this yellow button and here it will show some you the quick fixes what you are missing. Change to fund or create fund to or import library lib.dart. So as soon as you click, yeah, you can see here is here they typed for us and control S and red line disappeared. Now if I hit run, what will happen? Hello, this is smjs first hello first it. Okay, let me tell you the execution. This when as soon as I hit run, what it did, goes to the main function. Here it find print and another print and then fun function. This fun function have what, this statement, so it printed this statement. Now it encountered fun2 function, so which is available in this lib.dart, and here we have already imported the file, so there's no need of anything. Then hit, that's it, we have imported our library and we have actually seen many things. So let's move on to variables and list, how you can define variables and how you can create lists. So we just saw what main function is and we know how we can run it. So let's move on to variables. So what variables are, suppose you wanna store a value in a box. Variable is like a box where you can store any kind of a value which can be string as well as a number which is known as integer. So let's create a variable with where is a data type, and after data type we declare the name of the variable. Let's take x and then let's put value 1 colon. So now it is showing a blue line under x. This signifies that we declared a variable but we haven't used it yet. So for using it, what we need is print and variable name then colon. And in this we doesn't require this double quote because it's variable. We don't want to just print x, we want to print the problem, we want to print the value of x, not the letter x. So let's save and run. Hello, first hello, and then we declared variable and it's printing 1. Now what will happen if I put hello 2 in it and save and run? So it's printing hello 2. It is because of this var. This var is, if I put my cursor on x, it is showing me it is string x. What will happen if I remove it and again do it 1? Now if I put my cursor on x, it is showing me integer x. So this var data type is a dynamic or runtime data type which on runtime checks the value of this variable and assigns whatever we have here. So if I define 1 here, so it will assign it to the integer. If I put some string, then it will show me the string. So it's a very good thing. We always mostly we use this var data type. But if you want to print some specific value like only string, then there's a string data type and x, and here you can put hi and semicolon, save and run. Okay, so what will happen if I put some number here? Yeah, it's definitely showing me that line because it's error. The value of type int can't be assigned to a variable of type string. That's it. So in string you can always assign, you can only assign string. Let it be an integer and 59, control s, and if I run it, then it's hello 59. So it's very simple. Okay, let me, okay, yeah, one more thing. Suppose you wanna print the type. You have this variable, suppose var or any integer or anything. You want to check what kind of data type it is, so create a function print and value x, this variable, and then dot. This dot will show other function to you, is what you can apply to x. So what I want from x is I want to check its type. For to checking type we have run time type method or attribute, and if we save and run it, so it is showing me its integer type. Okay, so same you can do it with, if there's a string value like, yeah, if I write 59 in double quotes it will be string, whatever you write in double quotes it will be string. So it's showing me string, that's it. And what happen if I write 1.0 and run, it's showing me double or you can say float. Okay, so that's about variable. There's one more thing. Suppose it's variable from to a single variable you can only assign a single value. Okay, so suppose there may arise some need that you want to assign a variable multiple values. So what you can do is, let me, no, not delete, let me comment everything. Okay, so I have commented it. So there's a data type called list, list, and I have declared list, and list, let me l1, take a variable l1 of type list equals to, now what we want is, let me input 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So I want to assign these 4 values. So for list what we need is square brackets. Okay, and then at last colon, and it's showing me blue line, so we have to use this variable somewhere. And now if I print this, it is printing our whole list l1, whatever we declared. So this is a type called list. So now what we can do is, let me copy this, control v, and l1. What will happen, let us check what its type is. So its type is dynamic, this list is dynamic. Okay, so what does dynamic mean? I will explain you later what it is. First let's check. So I have assigned here the value only of integer. What I want, like in a list I want, suppose hello. So can I do that? Let's check. Yeah, of course I can do that, and type always remains the dynamic. Okay, so we have seen this, but just suppose you want to declare a list, and what do you want is you can only assign string types. What you can do is put here this sign of greater than less than equals to less than, and type here the string. Okay, so as soon as I just typed the string, it just showing me this error. So this signifies, what it signifies, that I can only assign now. Okay, I can only assign only string type. Okay, so let me do it, string only, and if I run it, it's showing me the string. And same you can do is with integer, so you only have to assign the integer only. So let's check variable. This is dynamic, it's declare the value of this at runtime, it will change its type. So let's see it's working or not. Yeah, it's working fine. List with string, and if I put one here and then run it, this list object. Object is when we have mixed feature. Okay, actually it's kind of different. Whenever you see let me print a type list l2, and here let me print 2 and smg, and print l2, and now let me print the type of l2 runtime type. And so what will happen if I run? So yeah, we have list here and we have list here, but one is object and second is dynamic. So what does this mean? Whenever you see list object, that signifies that it is compile time, type, and this is runtime type. So if you don't understand what compile type and run type is, just leave it. You don't need to understand for a while, but it's more into object oriented programming. I'm not going to explain it. It just came into my mind, so I just told you. Okay, so that was for list. But uh, let me do one more thing. Let me delete it, and suppose I have other values. Suppose, let's consider you are building an app, and in list what you want to store is, suppose on first you want to store your name. So your name can be John. So suppose your name is John and your email is email at the rate gmail.com, and what your number is, suppose your number is 1234, your phone number. Okay, so I just printed this, it's type. Let me comment it as well, I don't wanna see anything else here. Now what you want is, suppose you only want to extract the email of this John person from this list. What you want is to do is extract only email. So what you can do is create a variable called email. What you can do is, you just created a variable email. Now let us assign the value of this index. So what do I mean by indexes? In list, the first position have index 0, second position have index 1, and third position have index 2, and so on. So at 0th position we have John, 1 email, 2 1 2 3 for its number. So what I want from L1, from list L1, so from L1 what I want John, email or number. I want email, so 1 and then semicolon. Now the value of email is stored in variable email. let's see how we can see print function, of course, you know, and control S, no error. And what if I run? So you can see here email, so that's perfectly fine. But what we want is, suppose it's, what problem you can face in list is, it's not a problem actually, it's just a feature. It's how list is. At zero position we have John, one email, and third position we have number. So suppose there something here, accidentally, not accidentally or intentionally, our developer just added something like address to street 2. So now the position is changed. Okay, yeah, you know why? Because I just, in the middle of nowhere, I just put street 2. So before, at first email was there, now first street 2 was is there. What happens? It will show me, of course, street 2. Yeah, okay. But what do you want is, suppose you only want to show the email only at second position, or you always want at this position, you always want email. Okay, what you can do is, there's another data type known as dictionary. We can say that it's dictionary or key value pair. We can, what we can do, we can fix this value 0, 1 and 2. So let me comment it. So I commented everything, and another time let's declare var and declare a dict equals to. So how you can declare a list? It's very easy, super easy, of course, actually. uh, Open and close a parentheses, and then I told you what dictionary is key colon value. Just remember this syntax, it's key colon value. So what we want is, uh, let me do it this way, and it is key colon value pair. So key is something that we fix, and value is our value normal. Okay, so let us define a key. What first key was is name. What is our name? Suppose John, comma, always we need comma. Second is email. What our email is, suppose xyz@gmail.com. And what third is phone. Okay, so what phone is, whatever we have here. Okay, let's save it. What will happen if I print dict? Okay, control S, and if I run it, okay, where, okay, yeah, sorry, I just forgot uh semicolon. To terminate every sentence you need semicolon. Okay, we are just separating this value with comma. Okay, now if I run it, it is showing me our full dictionary. Now we have fixed our value, and key will always be in double quotes, because it's, if you put your cursor on it, so it is showing me map. It's also known as map actually. In Dart it's map, and in Python, and it's Python in dictionary. So it's called the type map. We are mapping the value. So the type first would be string, and second type would be object. These are our objects, is this our string type. Okay, so this is known as key value pair. Just suppose you have printed a full dictionary. What you want to print is, create a variable, suppose x, let x, and what you want is only to print the value of email. So in dict what we want is email. So what we need email, and we just type that here. And what will happen if I print x? It's only showing me email. So that's it. We have done our variable list. Yeah. So one more thing, if what I just told you here, we can change the value of 1 to 0. So this is known as mutable. So mutable list are actually mutable. Okay, lists are always mutable. And dictionary, this map type is immutable. Okay, you got it right. It's easy, of course. So that was it for variable and list. What we just only need 5 more minutes, nothing else. So let me close everything and create a new file. That name is basic2 dot. Okay, so I'm not doing anything else. I just creating a function, that's it. Here I have let's say okay, print I have something. Actually I should have told you in functions, but we didn't know variables. So first variables and then this. What I'm going to show you is now lib2 dot. So what in lib2 we can do is create a function m, let fun m, and create this function. In function what we are going to do is creating variable, and in variable we have two variable. Let's suppose I plus j. We are doing maths here. Okay, variable. Okay, I haven't suppose t variable, and we have I plus j. And what I want to do is print the value of t in this function. Okay, but we haven't declared I and j. What I am going to do is I comma j. So what I just did it, I passed the parameters to this function. This is known as parameter passing, or defining the attribute to the functions, to the function, or function is also known as method. So what we can do is call this function. What was the name of function? funm, and auto import. So it imported for us, and at last we need colon. So how this function, this attribute will work? So what you need is you just need to pass the values 1 and 5, suppose. Okay, so this 1 and 5 function will move to this function m and replace I and j with 1 and 5, and will store into the t variable. But and it will print the t. So will it print the t? Okay, wait, will it print the t or not? Let's see. Yeah, of course it is printing, and it will, of course, we wrote here print t. It's the property of the function to print. Now let's see what we can do is suppose I want to use this function into a variable. Let me create a variable and f equal to. So can I store that? Can I do that? Let's see. And what I want to do is print f. So it is kind of the same thing we are doing But what the difference is, let me tell you. uh, as soon as I hit run, it is showing me null. Why it is showing me null is because we have our what we can say, mm, you just can't print a function into a print. It is like defining print inside a print. Therefore it is showing me the value of this, showing me the null value. Okay, so what we can do is there's a type known as return anti. What return will do, it will return the value, whatever value you will have here, to this function. So why we use return? To assign, so we can assign this variable somewhere. Now if I run this program, it's showing me 6. Okay, that's it. It's actually very simple. So I think uh, that's it for today. Just I just showed you how you can create your function, create your own method library, can import them, and how you can create variables, where functions we can use, what are lists, and what are dictionaries or type known as map. So thank you guys for watching, and be a subscriber, share this video, and thanks a lot.